Joining us right now is the Rajasthan Assembly Speaker, Dr. C.P. Joshi. Thank you very much, Dr. Joshi, for speaking to NDTV. My first question to you is, now your plea will be heard in the Supreme Court tomorrow. Would you like to tell us why did you feel the need to move the Supreme Court?
As simple as that. The Parliament has framed the rules, the law. The Supreme Court has interpreted, and three-bench judgment was this, that no court will interfere in the decision of disqualification. It is the sole prerogative of Speaker. Right from 92 to till today, all courts were adhering to this. Unfortunately, in case of Rajasthan, at the stage of so-called notice, the entire matter is stuck at High Court.
Dr. Joshi, your prayer in the Supreme Court saying that the judiciary cannot intervene in this matter, many would say that this is a little bit presumptive. I mean, the verdict has not come out in the Rajasthan High Court and you have moved the Supreme Court.
It's the reverse way. The law says that the court will not intervene till the Speaker decides the disqualification of a member.
But don't you think, Dr. Joshi, you had this option while you were addressing this case? I mean, you were well represented even in the Rajasthan High Court during the decisions. I mean, you could have said it then.
It was brought to their notice. My advocate has pleaded it. And we said very categorically, it is a premature stage, don't entertain it. Our advocate has already pleaded these things, that we cannot give extension till you ask them to present to reply to the so-called notice. This whole argument we have put forward in front of High Court.
But Dr. Joshi, what really is your argument? If I were to ask you, you are saying that judiciary has no role till such time that the Speaker decides it is his prerogative to decide whether a person or an MLA must be disqualified or not. Correct?
It is not I who say it. It is the law of the land which empower me.
But why is there a interpretation to this law? Why is it that we hear one side interpreting the law very differently from how you are?
Who says it? Right from 92 till today, no judgment is against the empowerment of the Speaker to disqualify.
Dr. Joshi, as far as this disqualification itself is concerned, I'm sure you must have heard the arguments from many lawyers representing the Sachin Pilot camp, and they seem to suggest that the House is not in session. So how can the Speaker issue a notice of disqualification? How do you respond to that?
I don't respond at this stage. I have given so-called notice. Let them reply and then I'll be able to give my opinion.
But I just wanted to know, do you think that it is constitutionally valid? They raise a question on the constitutional validity of your notice.
This is settled. This provision is settled by the court, not by me. The Constitution empowered the Speaker, not individual. It is the institution of the Speaker who enjoys this thing right from 92 to till today.
Dr. Joshi, let me come back to the first question. Could Dr. C.P. Joshi, the Speaker of the Rajasthan Assembly, not have waited for the Rajasthan High Court verdict, which is due to come on Friday, and then take his next legal recourse? I know you're well within your right, but could you not have waited? Because it does appear presumptive, as if you're presuming what the result of the Rajasthan High Court is going to be.
I am not presuming the judgment. I am fighting for the empowerment of the Speaker by law.
Can you state certain specific instances from history where this matter has been settled, this impasse has been settled in the past, in your favor, in the Speaker's favor?
It's not question of my favor or any favor. Adherence to the law is the duty of the constitutional authority.
No, Dr. Joshi, my question was different. My question was that can you cite specific instances from the past where this issue has been settled, that Speaker is king. Speaker decides it is his jurisdiction as far as the notice sending to the MLAs as well as possible disqualification.
It is the first step. It is the first step to get their answer. You have not decided anything. I have received a complaint from the chief whip of the party, Congress party, and accordingly I asked them what is their reply. That's all.
Dr. Joshi, I'll tell you why this becomes a matter of fear. Because the Sachin Pilot camp feels that you would presumably sack them or disqualify them even when the House is not in session, and that would shrink the the strength of the House, thus giving an advantage to the Ashok Gehlot government. How do you respond to this?
I'm shocked to know this thing. Please see to it if I'm sitting on the quasi-judiciary position, if I do something unlawful, the court is competent to review it.
Dr. Joshi, through the course of the argument, it was also asked by the Rajasthan High Court that whether you have listed out the reason why you have sent a notice. I mean, how would the MLAs respond to a notice sent by you if the reason is not mentioned? How do you respond to this?
You please go through the rules and regulations of Rajasthan Assembly. I have given thought to it. I have gone through the paper, and then simply I have asked them to reply. That's all.
So the rule suggests that Dr. Joshi need not specify the reason why a notice has been served.
I'll give reasoning after listening them.
But that's exactly what the argument was, Dr. Joshi, in the court, because they seem to say the court asked this.
I'm shocked. What is the system? You get some complaint, you go through it, and then you ask the response of the other party. I've gone through the complaint, and prima facie I saw to some reasoning. That's why I asked them to reply. That's all.
So what happens before getting
before getting their response? How I can say the.
Okay, Dr. Joshi, I want to ask you at this moment, a lot of this has to do with a trust deficit, with some amount of fear that Dr. CP Joshi is going to read their notices, their replies, and eventually disqualify them. I think that's where the fear is coming from. I want to know from you.
Empowerment given to individual or institution? You just see the behavior of me as a speaker in the last 1.5 years. Is there any instance in the assembly? Or if I do something unlawful, the court is there.
So you are assuring on national television that whatever the proceedings will be, your constitutional responsibility as the speaker will be to investigate and look at this matter in a free and fair manner and then give your judgment, correct?
That's my role, that's my responsibility. As a quasi-judiciary person, I have to adhere to the law, I have to follow the procedure as per the in a judicious manner.
Dr. Joshi, how would you respond to these allegations that the speaker is always a figurehead appointed or tilts closely towards the ruling dispensation in every assembly? And that's why his opinion may be biased.
I won't be able to comment it.
Sorry, beg your pardon?
I don't want to comment over this.
Sure. My final question to you, Dr. Joshi, through the course of the next 3 days, see, we are waiting for the Friday judgment of the Rajasthan High Court. During this period, can you then see, the Rajasthan High Court has requested that you defer your judgment or the proceedings on the notice till Friday. They have requested, not ordered. So
I have not arrived at judgment. Please be clear about this. To ask to give so-called notice is the primary function of every other boss of an institution.
So as of this moment, does your notice stand till how much time are these MLAs supposed to respond to your notice?
I already given my commitment to the court.
So tomorrow is the hearing. Only tomorrow, once the Supreme Court decides what it has to, then will you move forward, correct?
Naturally, I am the person who always respect the other institution.
All right, Dr. CP Joshi, thank you so much for speaking to NDTV. That was the Speaker of the Rajasthan Assembly.